Right, so hello and welcome back to the Bach and Arthur podcast, everybody. We got two guests next to Bach this time. What are they called?
Witch and I don't know what his name is.
It's that green guy that I loathe.
You loathe him, yeah. You really loathe him. Why?
Yeah, there's just a lot of them. That's why.
And?
There's a lot of them. They're not unique enough.
But we got a bit of ridicule for last episode because she's the first female guest we've had and we didn't let her speak.
Oh yeah, the little Minecraft witch toy that's next to Bach.
But she's got nothing nice to say. She's got an acid tongue, hasn't she?
Yeah, and it's forked.
Yeah, it is forked, yeah.
Why is that man looking at me?
Yeah, I know. I think that as well.
It's kind of bad, you've got to admit. You've got to admit.
No, she is kind of a baddie.
Getting jealous of the little green guy. They're getting a bit close.
No, they're a thing, yeah.
They're an awful couple. They really are. Find someone better. You're looking at them. Anyway, today we're going to be recapping. Lately, we like to start off with a bit of recap what's been going on in our lives.
Oh, yeah.
Dubai. Oh, but the biggest change for viewer listeners, enjoyers, Bach has joined Tesco, everybody.
Okay. No, right. Yeah, I bought this on the way back from a hike thinking it was really good. And yeah, I just had a few comments saying I look like I work at Tesco. So thanks for that. But
it's just blue and panelled with navy and it's got the little white thing on the pocket.
I, for one, think it's fabulous.
It's a really lovely quarter zip.
Oh, thank you.
Is it 3/4 zip?
Oh, thank you. No, just a quarter zip because it's only a quarter.
Looks lovely.
Oh, and let's address the elephant in the room.
Oh, yeah.
He has got a mullet.
I kind of have.
Yeah.
I went to the barber's and I was like, give me a haircut.
He showed a picture of me.
And he cut the sides and then he was like, done. And I was like, what?
Where's the rest?
So let me do a little spin for you.
Have a look.
There you go.
Have a look.
So it's not like a mullet. It doesn't go below my neckline. It's just still long. It's still medium at the back.
Still modern mullet, I'd say.
Yeah, it's called can't remember what it's called actually.
Not a tape. It's more than a taper.
Oh, it's a low taper fade.
Oh, it's still huge. Oh, it's still massive.
Still massive.
Oh, it's still
a year
massive.
later and it's still massive. It seriously is. No, but yeah, I decided to mix it up. I randomly remembered at uni, we used to do this really fun thing with dinner parties where like our uni house would throw dinner parties every like couple of weeks and we would essentially all have to bring a girl no matter what. So like if you're in a long-term relationship, kind of easy. But like if you were single, you'd have to go on a night out like that week and just randomly like chat to a girl and be like, fancy coming along to a dinner party?
Yeah.
And yeah, we ended up doing one and we were playing like a bunch of drinking games. One of the girls that we didn't know very well got asked who has the lamest haircut. And it was me.
Oh.
It was me. Because I've always had no flair with my hair.
If
really.
only she could see you now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, no, right.
Oh, I'm forwarding this episode to her right now.
Oh, she's eating humble pie now. Oh, she's full.
But yeah, no, and I've always been like, I've always just never really done anything with my hair. Just sort of like swept it to the side.
Yeah.
Got a bit of I get a short back and sides from time to time when I go like monthly or whatever. And I was like, you know what? Everyone's enjoying the longer hair. And when I was getting the long hair, loads of people were like, mullet. So I was like, I'll give it a try.
No, do you know what? And I'm looking around me and I'm seeing your hair's looking cooler by the minute. Arthur's hair's looking cooler by the minute. George's hair's looking cooler by the minute. I've got to do something. I've got to switch shit up.
You've got to go new.
I'm going to go bald and blonde.
Wait, how the hell can you be both?
Oh, you'll find out. Like Slim Shady.
Oh.
It's the only thing I can do.
Okay.
So keep an eye out for that next episode.
I like that. And Chris had the big upgrade when he went from the quiff to the perm.
Yeah, he's gorgeous.
Really
is it really a perm? He says it's not.
I don't know. It's become very curly.
I think it's just curly. But yours, for instance, I didn't think was curly until like the last few months. You've had a real curl to you. Were you taming it beforehand? You now let it
kind
go?
of.
Or?
So like before, like I would, because obviously I would just sweep it to the side. I would run my fingers through it.
Yeah.
And I think that would naturally comb it.
I see.
But anyway, enough of the boring talk.
Do you know what I was just thinking? This the sort of clip that goes up on TikTok and then all the comments are, not everyone needs a fucking mic.
I was just thinking,
not everyone needs a podcast.
I was thinking after we were speaking about doing more sciencey topics and all that kind of stuff, and now we're talking about this. So don't worry, we've got some interesting science and philosophy coming up. But before then, we're going to briefly talk about Dubai, because I was recently there with the gang. Yeah. But then we're going to go into the science. The flaws of human memory and memory in general, very interesting.
Yeah.
We're going to revisit our early YouTube channels, and I've got a hidden unlisted first video.
Oh, we've got an exclusive.
And then we've got some listener questions. So let's just jump straight into it.
Tell me about Dubai.
Oh, I was just in Dubai. United
tell me about
Arab
Dubai.
Emirates. So like the last time I had been, the only other time I had been was to go with Chris
Yeah.
for his hot versus cold football shoot.
Oh yeah.
And the kind of point was for us to suffer in the heat. So we'd play football, but like we'd wear beanies and gloves and scarves, and it was like middle of summer, so it was like 35, 40 degrees.
Yeah.
And then we went into the desert and played foot golf. So I really just didn't enjoy it that much. But this time, because it's only March, it was like 25 degrees and sunny, and it was a completely different experience. Like you could walk around in the daytime and it was pleasant.
Yeah.
It is very clean. I'm not a huge fan of car culture. So
No.
I kind of wish it was one of those cities where, you know, you could leave the hotel and walk to the marina and then walk to the mall and all that kind of stuff. You kind of have to Uber. It's not too bad. I got on a little electric scooter at one point. There is a
Good
metro.
for you.
It's got 2 lines.
Really?
And there's 3 coming up, but it
Good.
doesn't do
You
a
should
lot.
Get more metros.
But it's a way greener city than I realised. You know,
Is it?
they're very big on becoming very green and renewable. I mean, not surprising that somewhere with that much sunlight has like
Yeah.
such infrastructure for like solar panels and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, one interesting thing was we saw the base of the Creek Tower. Have you heard of this? So
I have not.
Dubai owns is home to the tallest building in the world,
The Burj Khalifa.
the Burj Khalifa, which stands at a grand 828 meters. And we actually, so the reason we went was
That's tall.
very tall. And we went to the top, but it was Joe Weller's birthday. So the reason we went was it was me, Theo, Reev and Weller.
Yeah.
Theo was essentially doing a video for Weller being like, I surprised my best bud with a bunch of stuff. So
I see.
they
Nice.
did diving with sharks, in the aquarium in the mall, which was hilarious.
Oh, sick.
Zip lining, tried the most expensive ice cream in the world, all this kind of stuff. It was really good. And me and Reeve got to get involved in a bunch of it. We did a lot of trying foods as well. We tried the Dubai chocolate.
Oh, what's that like?
Overrated, I thought.
Yeah.
It tastes exactly like you've got a pistachio in one side of your mouth, chocolate in the other.
Oh,
You know, some food combinations you're like, wow, that really works, or that's a really unique combination. Didn't really feel like it to me.
really?
Yeah.
I just can imagine from looking at it what it tastes like.
It looks odd as well. The green sort of like splintered.
What is it? Katifi in it, or is that not
It's
what
like
it's called?
pistachio-y. Yeah, I don't know.
The crispy
I'm
thing.
not exactly sure.
I don't
But yeah. Anyway, but in Dubai, there's this like circle base built into the sand for the base of the Creek Tower.
Oh, is that the deepest pool?
No, it's
Wrong again.
no. What a silly thing to say.
Be quiet. Be quiet.
No, it's essentially Saudi Arabia are building the Jeddah Tower, which is going to be the first building over 1 kilometer high. It's supposed to be 1,008 meters, which is about 180 meters taller than the Burj Khalifa. And go on.
No, I was just going to ask. Do we know how tall the Shard is? Just so I have something to compare it to, because I know like most mountains in the UK are about 1,000 meters, which is crazy.
Shard is 310.
So the Shard's only 310. Because I can't, you know, when you can't really picture how tall the Burj Khalifa is,
Yeah.
you've got nothing to compare it to.
No, yeah,
That's
it's basically
interesting.
3 times the size.
That's mental.
And then there's
Wow.
the Jeddah Tower in Saudi Arabia. And our taxi driver was essentially saying that Saudi Arabia and the UAE are kind of having this competition. So when it got announced that the Jeddah Tower was being built, he was saying like Dubai wanted to not lose the title of the world's tallest building. So they started designing and working on this, the Creek Tower. There it is. It's quite an odd for audio listeners. It's kind of almost like an arrow
Bit Eiffel Tower.
with a sort of like mosquito net over it.
Yeah.
It's quite like, it's got like an almost like translucent cape.
It looks
around
it does look excellent. What's your opinion on skyscrapers though?
I think they're pretty cool. I mean, being at the top is phenomenal.
It's a good use of space.
Yeah, I mean, really efficient for ground. I mean, if you want to become a walkable city, you need a lot of high-rise
High-rise.
buildings. But yeah, it seems like shareholder value and returns and stuff have come into it a lot. So recent comments from Emaar Properties founder suggest that it's no longer planned to be taller. But if you look online, it's quite mixed reports of what exactly is happening to it.
I'd get stuck in a place where I think there's no point in building another building unless it's the tallest.
Yeah,
So I just wouldn't even bother with that. If they're not going to make it the tallest,
yeah.
scrap it.
But it's really cool to look at. I mean,
Yeah.
adding something that iconic to the skyline is quite cool.
That is true.
And it's obviously increases the value of the area. I mean, there are a bunch of because you ever get it where you go to a place and your TikTok is full of people posting about it.
Yeah.
We got that from Dubai, and there are a lot of apartments that people have bought that faced out into essentially desert nothingness.
Yeah.
That now face that circle that's built onto the ground, and they're like, when that creek tower is built and we've got perfect view of the
that's
creek
all
tower,
they'll
the
see.
value will have absolutely skyrocketed.
Oh yeah, of course. That's crazy actually to think about that.
Kind of cool.
That would be
isn't
an
it?
amazing view. It's like just plonking an Eiffel Tower in front of someone's house.
Yeah. I always find it weird going places. You ever go to Paris and you go up the Eiffel Tower and you look out at Paris and you're like, oh, there's no Eiffel Tower there. So it doesn't really look as Parisian.
Paris. Yeah.
Like the views are almost better from like a nearby hotel that looks at the Eiffel Tower than when you're up there.
Yeah. Yeah. When you're on the thing that is the view, it just takes it away.
Because that was the other thing. There's a bit of TikTok kind of like, I don't know, like ego-y beef stuff
Really?
about people who live in Dubai. And I saw a video from a TikToker being like, oh, you live in the Burj Khalifa and so you don't get a view of the Burj Khalifa. And they were obviously really rattled by these comments. And they were like, oh, but this is what I do get a view of. And then they showed all their amenities, and it's just insane.
Damn.
But yeah, we ate at the Altitude restaurant, I think it was called, which is the highest restaurant in the world.
Aptly named.
Up
Aptly
there
named.
in basically the clouds. And yeah, the view is quite crazy. But obviously quite strange because it's really, there's no greenery. Like if you look at Paris and London and stuff.
Right, yeah. You'd
There's
see
a lot
grass
of trees,
and
a
stuff,
lot of green park.
But it's a desert, isn't it?
It's very overwhelmingly grey for the city, and then obviously you see the blue sea.
Yeah. You can see the ocean.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
I don't think I really know where it is.
Oh, should we pull up a little map?
I've
It's just
never
off
been.
the east coast of sort of like Saudi Arabia. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, because I didn't realise it was
So
on the coast. Okay.
Yeah, right on the
makes
coast.
sense.
I mean, it's a coastal. There are beaches all along the front,
I see.
and if you zoom out, we can sort of get a
Oh, wow. I
little
didn't know
idea of where it is. There you go.
that. Oh, cool.
In the,
Nice.
in that little area. Although I didn't go to the beach or the sea, which is a bit of a shame because I do love the water.
You do love
We
the
were quite
water.
busy. We were doing a lot of
Oh,
filming.
you love the water a little too much.
Yeah, don't know what you mean by that. Hope you're not referencing the surfboard story again.
Exactly what I'm referencing.
Brilliant.
Oh, no, you love the water.
Oh, speaking of Saudi Arabia, so you know they're all doing this. They've just got so much money. They're just pumping it into essentially being the next. They're just going. They're just building infrastructure to just be insane, right? Everywhere.
Yeah.
You must have seen the. Is it the wall or the line?
The line, I think, right?
Where it's just a really long
Yeah,
building
the line, yeah.
that the Saudi Arabian.
Huge. And it's just mirrored on the
Yeah, but-
outside. Surely that's
yeah.
going to cause fires.
And it's really cool. It's like a walkable city inside where you sort of every single house inside the line has like a school, groceries,
Oh,
a
in its...
place of religion within a 15-minute walk.
Okay. See, I was going to say, I don't know how I feel about that because it's like, oh, everything's inside, but it's in a desert anyway. So you don't have, like, you wouldn't necessarily want to go out on a walk in
No.
the desert anyway.
And you look up and still see blue sky, and I think there's
Yeah.
going to be lots of greenery and water inside. But yeah, Saudi Arabia are building, I don't know if you saw this, a ski resort, and they're spending
Nice.
loads on it, and they want to
How?
become one of the there you go.
How do
Saudi
you do that?
Arabia is building a ski resort in the
So
desert.
they want to become one of the places to go skiing.
Yeah.
A ski resort in the
There's
desert.
going to be a lot of artificial snow. $500 billion, there we go,
Oh, is that it?
within the mountains of Neom. So I'm guessing the climate allows
That's
for them to be
insane.
able to pump fake snow and for it to stay. Oh yeah. We just need -3 degrees Celsius in order to create snow in Neom. And we can do that for 3 months of the year. There you go.
That's mental.
Yeah. I mean, I think you get it quite a lot where you ever see like TikToks of people going like, oh, this is what you imagine Pakistan is like.
And
you
this is
see
what
it,
it's really like.
And then it's like, oh, and the
All the mountains.
mountain,
and, the grass
and you're just like, oh, wow, the places that I imagine were just hot year round.
yeah.
There are mountains with snow, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's true.
So it'd be interesting to see. I mean, obviously with Dubai and Saudi Arabia, there are also controversies around things like workers' rights, trafficking. There are a lot of like complex, deeper issues about, you know, how morally a lot of these things are being achieved. And obviously a big part of the reason why there's a lot of money there is because perhaps there's less regulation, less strict. Like it might be easier for certain people to live there with money. But yeah, a topic for another time perhaps, but all very interesting.
So did you have a good time?
I really did, yeah. I think it's been quite a grey winter.
Yeah.
Are you seeing, because last couple of days have been quite sunny in the UK, haven't they?
Really enjoyed that.
Yeah. And a lot of people are saying that it's quite, like, people realise how much the weather affects them when the sun comes out for a few days and they're like, I feel like I've been reborn. Do you feel that?
Yeah, I always forget when, because over the winter, it's easy to forget how nice it can be in the summer when it gets to, as soon as you enter autumn, I'm like, oh, I actually really like autumn, the trees and going orange and everything like that. And then you get to winter, you're like, oh, Christmas is great. And then you got January and February, you're like, this is shit, I hate this. And then it starts to go into spring, you're like, I forgot it can even be this nice. Why? Obviously, this is like, when it turns to summer, it's my favorite. I always think when the next season comes, I'm like, oh yeah, I like this. But I don't really. I just like the sun.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, I went to Wales for the week and then went home and it was sunny the whole time. It was so nice.
So ideal.
Just a little recharge the sun gives you, you know. Makes me feel more productive as well.
And you climbed your
Yrwidfa.
Is that
how you say it? Yrwidfa. Yeah.
Yeah. Tough one for us to pronounce, I think.
Yeah.
But,
also known as Mount Snowdon.
Yep.
Yeah, climbed that. Snowy at the top this time of year. So it's kind of freezing, but it's nice at the bottom.
Oh, snowy at the top. Wow, that's cool. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Obviously, when I did it with the guys, it was summer.
Yeah,
It was very sunny.
So the only 2 times I've done it for some reason has been in like January, February. So it's like 6 degrees at the bottom or like 8 degrees. It's quite warm, like the sun when the sun's out. And then you get to the top and it feels like -10. It will say on the weather app, and it's just snowy and windy.
Wow.
And it's such a difference to then when you get back down, you forget that that's just right up there.
That's so interesting.
But I do want to go back in the summer when it's actually nice. I always just end up doing it when it's freezing at the top.
Yeah.
But no, it was good though. It was nice.
Another camping trip this
Nice
summer.
trip. Yeah, I'd like to go camping.
Yeah.
Lake District.
But yeah, that was good. It was nice to get some sunlight and have some warmth. And on the final day, our flight home was at 4 p.m. So we got to, in the morning, just chill by the pool whilst we weren't filming.
Yeah.
But yeah, one other thing about Dubai, cloudseeding. Really interesting.
Cloudseeding.
Did you hear about this when there were sort of the floods in April 2024?
Yeah, I remember the floods, yeah.
Yeah. So cloudseeding, basically aircraft dropping smaller particles like silver iodide into clouds. And that means that the water vapor can condense more easily and turn into rain, and it's been around for decades. And the UAE has used it in recent years to help address water shortages.
Right.
So you essentially get aircraft to spray these smaller particles, and then
To make clouds rain.
you make clouds rain, basically bring rainfall.
Oh, you're making the world bust. Interesting.
But there was obviously the massive floods in April 2024, and loads of people were like, oh, is this cloud seeding? But apparently it actually wasn't. So there was already a large weather system around, like there was a lot of humidity in the air, a lot of water moisture in the air. Warm air can actually hold a lot more moisture, 7% extra for every degree Celsius. So when it gets hotter, it can get very humid. And experts were essentially saying that at best it would have had minor effect on the storm, and that focusing on cloud seeding is misleading. And the UAE's National Centre of Meteorology denied that the floods were anything to do with cloud seeding, although one would suspect that they would have a bias for saying that, for saying like, oh, we didn't make a mistake and over cloud seed. So I think people could be quite skeptical of the meteorology National Centre statement. But yeah, I think a lot of independent meteorologists looked into it and were like, yeah, this couldn't have done this. Like we kind of already predicted. Well, there you go. The computer models are already predicting well over a year's worth of rainfall in 24 hours.
Well, so they're saying that it had to be cloud seeding effects or not?
No, so meteorologists were going like there was already going to be a year's worth of rainfall in around 24 hours. So like they were expecting it to happen.
Yeah.
So they were like, this hasn't just come out of nowhere. This isn't just like a plane has dropped a bunch of chemicals and all of a sudden there's been floods. It's like,
and it was an issue because
go crazy.
The place isn't built to withstand rain, is it?
Yeah,
it's just not supposed to rain that much.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
And yeah, a lot of people saying obviously like with climate change, with the climate getting warmer, more moisture can be held. So they're kind of expecting and preparing for more of that.
Yeah. Well, they can have some of our rain. How about that?
What are your thoughts on chemtrails?
Oh yeah, they've been doing them over my house for years. They're trying to get me.
Oh really?
Yeah, they're trying to get me. That's why.
It's working because you've lost your mind, evidently.
No, they're not real chemtrails.
No.
No. What people just think that what's being left behind by a plane is chemicals
I
to
think,
kill us.
Yeah, I think they look at the water vapor.
And they think, it's chemistry.
And think that it's chemicals.
No.
But I mean, stuff like this with like, this kind of thing is something that they would read about and be like, I knew they were dropping chemicals and spraying chemicals.
Yeah.
But you've just got to think like there would be more efficient ways of getting populations to ingest chemicals than spraying them that far up.
Yeah.
What is it?
Put it in the
6 or
water.
7 miles up, a plane flies.
Yeah.
Spraying it out like
Yeah.
the parts per million would be ridiculously low.
Yeah. That's why they do it in our water and they're poisoning us. So just stop drinking water. That's why I only strictly drink milk, right?
That was actually, I got asked about that when I went. So I was on Waffling a few days ago. By the time this episode is out, Waffling will be out. Go check it out.
Oh, which is just there, by the way.
Which we're facing. And they
Our
were
neighbours.
asking about conspiracy theories and whether I believe in any and what I thought about chemicals in the water. But
And what do you think?
I just did the classic like extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. So if you want to claim that the government's poisoning us or trying to make us go crazy or kill us all and stuff, you need pretty strong evidence for it. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen the papers of what they put in water. I'm aware that they do put certain chemicals in water. Like I'm sure there's a certain amount of fluoride that goes in that makes you healthier, affects your like the strength of your teeth, a lot of that kind of stuff. I'm sure there's been research of the amount of certain chemicals in the water and how like calm a population is and that it like lightly ties to crime rates. But
Fuck?
yeah, really odd. But I think that would be something I'd need to properly. Oh, there you go. Using data for 27 Texas counties in the 70s and 80s, it's shown that incident rates of suicide, homicide, and rape are significantly higher in counties whose water drinking supplies contain little or no lithium. So there you go. Having lithium in the water can
Stop violent crime.
affect violent crime. So you'd think that the government would therefore have an incentive of putting the right amount of lithium in.
So if I lick my lithium battery in my phone,
Please don't do that. It'll explode in your mouth.
I'll stop punching people.
Yeah.
Interesting. Will it explode in my mouth?
I don't know. Maybe. I wouldn't try it. I don't think you're supposed to lick lithium batteries.
Too late.
Too late.
Can't help it.
Put that tongue
It's
away.
simple.
Seriously, how many times do I have to warn you about that?
Oh, that sounds
Um,
disgusting.
But yeah, I went on Waffling to speak about God
Because you know him so well.
with Joe Weller.
Yeah.
We did a football video recently where it was like YouTube fans compete for 10 grand or whatever. And it was like Chris got one fan from every Premier League team. I was the Man United representative and we competed for football challenges and Weller was there. And Theo was like, oh, Arthur and Weller, you guys need to lash it out on the podcast. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, he believes in God. And we ended up doing it and it was really interesting in the end. He has like really interesting, he's not religious, so he doesn't believe in like Christianity, Islam or anything like that. He just believes in a sort of higher power.
Right.
And I really didn't know how it was going to go going into it, whether he'd want to like heavily debate me. It was really tough to like figure out what angle he was going to go in on, like whether he was going to bring up like theological, philosophical arguments, evidence, like personal experience and stuff. But we really didn't touch on a lot of the stuff I was expecting to.
Yeah.
Like classic arguments for God. It was very much down like you can't really read about it. You know, all these kind of arguments are kind of like less relevant. It's more about experiencing God. And he was like, you've got to open yourself up to it to completely get it.
Yeah, he's much more on the experiences that he's had, where he's like, yeah, that's a higher power. Can't deny it. Which isn't something you can debate because it's his feelings. Like, it's just like,
it's quite spiritual for him.
yeah, he's a spiritual guy. Yeah.
I kind of remember saying that I didn't really have as much interest in like scrutinizing beliefs in those scenarios. Like I was saying, like when you speak to someone like Joe and they kind of were in a bad place and then they find God and they become a better person, like I don't really find any value in going like, oh, let's analyze this and have you got sufficient evidence and stuff. I don't really think like it's productive or useful and it doesn't really interest me.
Yeah.
It would have been something I would have been interested to go in a debate if he was like hardline, you know, I'm convinced that this is a good argument. What do you think? You know, I'm right, or like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, one thing I probably didn't say was like, yeah, because I was like, oh, I don't find it useful having like debates where it like is meaningful. I wish I kind of been like, oh, these are the types of things where this is why I would speak about it. And I think that's more to do with, like I say, like people who enjoy a debate, who are up for it,
Mm.
or maybe people who are either being harmed by religion or being harmful with it type thing.
Yeah.
You go like, oh, you know, I believe in God and God has, I believe, commanded me to do this thing. And if you're sitting there going, oh, actually, that's, you know, harmful to women or a minority community or to your own health or happiness or anything, that's when I feel like it's more productive to be like, okay, let's analyze this and figure out if it actually is from God.
Yeah.
It was really interesting. And especially going into it, I just finished reading that book.
Oh.
Have you read that? Have you read The God Delusion?
No, because I don't want to break the spine of it.
Oh, it's a big spine, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a very smooth looking book.
Yeah. You got to the end of it.
Quite a fat book. Yeah, I did.
Also, I can't read. So even if I wanted to.
Do you like reading stuff like that? Like, do you like, because obviously you always say you're
Yeah.
not confrontational.
Yeah. What is it?
It's essentially,
That's not what I thought it had anything to do with. So.
he is probably the most confrontational writer
Oh, right.
on the topic that I've read a full book on so far.
Yeah.
Maybe Christopher Hitchens probably beats him to that actually, but
Mm.
it's like he's essentially, he goes through things like common arguments for God, common like theological arguments, like the argument from design, the ontological argument, the cosmological argument, which I'm sure you will find interesting that we've spoken about, where it's sort of speaking about everything that begins to exist has a cause, and that cause is God. You can tell he's a scientist because reading through it, there are a lot of things like the cosmological argument, for example, he goes through a lot of them at a very like surface level depth.
Yeah.
And I think if you've never come across them before, you can kind of read that and go, oh, okay, this is a kind of rough idea. Like, you know, everything that exists has a cause, like the universe exists, therefore it has a cause and that's God. And he kind of goes, oh, well, if God exists, he needs a cause as well.
Yeah.
And then goes like, and that's kind of that argument shot down.
Yeah.
But like Thomas Aquinas, who first sort of like put that forward as a you know, he was one of the original people who put that argument forward, was speaking about like God like not being subject to that because he's not a contingent being. He's like a being, like a necessary being.
Yeah.
And so like it just seems like he didn't go deep enough and didn't like represent the arguments to the kind of like full depth. Because I think even going through, I was like, I feel like I could counter this from a Christian point of view or any other kind of religious point of view.
Yeah.
So I don't think he necessarily went deep enough to satisfy a lot of like people who are like well read on it necessarily. And he's also just very he's got a very confrontational writing style. So I think if you were religious and you read that, some bits you'd be like, okay, that makes sense and it's compelling. But some bits you'd be like, I feel like I'm being attacked, and it immediately like might shift you towards feeling more defensive.
Yeah.
I don't think he's necessarily good at persuading people who might be strongly religious.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll tip people over if they're on the fence or something. But yeah, overall quite interesting. Like goes through a lot of like the basic fundamentals and puts forward like quite a compelling case for atheism, and obviously does the whole thing that Sam Harris kind of does where he goes like, we don't need religion for morals and that kind of stuff. Yeah, quite interesting.
Yeah, no, I've never read anything like that when it like covers religion. I like
dabble in it.
I like nonfiction, but mainly when I read nonfiction, it's like more just about like, well, it'll be a book like by Brian Cox, or it'll be like Stephen Hawking's book, or like Sapiens and stuff like that. But I've never read anything where it's more like talking about religion or anything like that.
You should read one or two. It'd be really interesting to like see how you feel about them. And I've kind of done the same. I was like, okay, I feel like I did the Sam Harris and Richard Dawkins books. I was like, I feel like I've done a lot of this kind of like overly religious, like, and now I'm reading I think it's here somewhere, Astrophysics in a Hurry by Neil deGrasse Tyson. Yeah, it's also behind me.
Yeah.
Got that.
Oh, you're just going through that stack.
I really am.
What's the one in the middle?
Oh, that's On the Origin of Species, Charles Darwin.
Have you read that
That's
already?
classic. Yeah, I have.
Oh, so you're just
I in fact, I
completing
have that one at home. Yeah. I feel like I can't really sit in front of books that I've not read because it feels
fair.
Feels a bit fake.
I've got no. Oh, I have. Got
Oh, you
book
have
here.
one.
The Dawn of Modern Cosmology.
Oh,
Not read a page.
that would be.
That sounds good though.
Who's that by?
Copernicus.
Huh?
No, it's not really.
Copernicus.
No.
A penguin wrote it.
Penguin Classics. I can't see. It doesn't have the author's name on this side.
Is it not on the red bit on the right?
No, that says Penguin Classics.
Oh.
No, it's not his name.
Is it Carl Sagan?
Carl Sagan. Maybe, actually.
The Dawn of Modern Cosmology. A book by...
Oh, arthurtv.
Any day now. Oh!
Who
What?
is it? Maybe no one wrote it. Maybe it just appeared.
Wow.
No. Doesn't it just...
From Copernicus to Newton. So it's a sort of...
Yeah, but someone would
of-
have made the compilation.
Of work by Galileo, Rene Descartes, Isaac Newton,
Kepler.
Aviva Rothman, it looks like. Is the
Aviva Rothman.
person who
Viva!
put it all together. That could be really interesting, actually.
Yeah, it probably is.
So I have a
It's got a good rating, 4.8.
I have like a fat book called The History of Philosophy.
Call it
That
that.
goes through everyone's stuff. Really
Yeah,
interesting.
nice. Good.
Oh, but yeah, head over to my Goodreads to see my full reviews of books and Letterboxd for movies. Because I just watched Dune. Have you seen Dune?
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
I like it.
Not that much.
No, I like it. I'm going to be honest. It's the sort of film that if I wasn't watching it in the cinema, I'd probably pull my phone out at some point.
Oh, really? It was quite slow.
But I watched the first one. I think I watched in the cinema. The second one I watched at the premiere, and I wasn't that engaged with it because it was more like a social thing.
Okay.
So I wasn't really watching it that much. It was a bit.
Right.
There was more going on. So, yeah, it's good. It is good. It's just like, yeah, I would never consider it as one of the greatest or anything like that.
Oh no, true.
So,
But it was really frustrating actually on the flight back from Dubai. It was like 8 hours and there was no Wi-Fi, and we were
At
like,
all?
"What the heck do we even do?"
that's really rare.
And so we played a lot of snooker on the 8-ball pool. I mean,
Oh
TV.
wow!
we did a lot of quizzes against everyone, and we played a bit of chess.
Why didn't you sleep?
It was arriving. It was like a midday till 8 p.m. flight, and obviously Dubai is 4 hours further forward, so we wanted to get back and just sleep and be in a normal sleeping routine.
Right.
And yeah, one of the things I did was
Right,
watch Dune, and I thought it was much better than I expected.
Wait, the first one or the second one?
First one, I haven't watched
First
the second one yet.
I can't remember if I preferred the first one or the second one. I think the second one is actually better than the first one.
People say, yeah, I think people say that. I think people say that the first one's slow and the second one's epic. But
Yeah.
So I was kind of not expecting Dune 1 to be good, but like visually it was great. Also, Timothée Chalamet.
He's a great actor.
I think because he's a bit of a like sexy, mysterious heartthrob.
Oh, say it, heartthrob. Yeah, just say it.
Like skinny, sort of like, skinny white boy. I think people often might give him this sort
What's
of
going on?
reputation for being like, oh, he's just got there because he's quite
he's
good
attractive,
looking.
right? Yeah.
But like, he actually is genuinely just an insanely good actor, in my opinion.
Oh, have you seen him in The King? He's really good in that.
No.
He's so good. You should watch that. You'd enjoy that.
Yeah, I will.
Was it?
But yeah,
Yes.
I enjoyed Dune more than I thought. I'm looking forward to watching part 2. It was quite like, felt like an adult version of Star Wars.
Yeah, people compare it to Star Wars quite a lot. Wasn't it written before Star Wars,
Quite
or am I
similar.
wrong?
I think you might be right. Yeah, I think it's an
Please
old.
be
it's an
right
old-
once, please.
It's an
be
old
right.
novel.
Yeah, it's really
let's-
old. Apparently, the books are a lot better than the movies.
I've
But
heard that it's
you would
good.
know.
Dune novel, published in 1965. And when was the first Star Wars screenplay written?
That was a couple of years before I was born.
Really?
Hmm.
Star Wars: A New Hope. Oh yeah, 1977.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was.
So I think
probably the inspiration of it.
Yeah, I think I saw someone say Star Wars is basically a little bit inspired by Dune,
Mhm.
which is interesting. It's a great topic. It's a great thought.
Oh, speaking of
I'm glad
thoughts,
Oh, some of them cannot be true.
memories and the fallibility of memory. I mean, you've already misremembered some things on this podcast already.
I have got a really bad memory as a rule of thumb.
I was thinking, I was wondering where you're, because you do forget to do things often. You said in the last episode or the one before that you're really bad at remembering names and faces and like keeping them.
I can't even remember who you are. I'm going to be honest. I don't know who you are.
That's why we have such a good time, because every time we hang out, I get to go through my AI script of, hello, nice to meet you. Who are you?
Yeah.
What do you like?
And
you
that's
just
why
answer.
that's why we called it the Batch and Arthur podcast, so I can always remember your name.
Yeah, it's just
And
that.
mine, otherwise I'll forget.
Yeah.
But it's also I also have a really bad sense of direction. I can't, if I go somewhere once, I wouldn't be able to get there again off memory.
Really?
Yeah, my memory is really bad. It never used to be. Don't know what happened. I think it's all the chemicals that put in the water.
Well, do you think you do
Oh, I headbutt stuff.
Oh, we're in a We're in a skyscraper now, so maybe it's the chemicals that are in the air. And we're near to an airport.
Shit.
You're
right.
Yeah, do you think so? Like, obviously, memory can be trained. Do you do anything? Do you think that tests your memory?
I used to do brain training on the Nintendo DS when
do you
I was
anymore though?
12.
Because if your memory's getting worse,
What do I do? No, because do you know what the problem is? I write everything down. If I have a thought at night, I know I won't remember it by morning, so I write it down. So I'm not forcing myself into remembering things. My calendar everything is in my calendar. Everything I need to remember is written down because I know I'll forget. So I'm never really training anything. But I went through a stage where I was like, all right, I'm getting rid of my schedules. I'm getting rid of my written down to-do list, getting rid of my calendar so I'm forced to remember stuff. And I didn't show up for a whole week to everything. So I decided I can't do that. I never woke up for a whole week.
That was that week when you stopped showering as well.
Yeah.
And you never started again.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not going to start that again. But there was also... I went through a real stage of like, okay, I cannot have a schedule because I got to a point where I was writing everything down in the schedule, like, 7 a.m. wake up, 8 a.m. No, like 7:15, brush your teeth, 7:30, have breakfast. Because I was like, what do
I do that.
How can I argue that doesn't go on the schedule, but film a YouTube video at 3 p.m. does go on the schedule? So I was then having an issue with that, and I was like, I'm getting too obsessive. I need to just not have a schedule, and it's more freeing, but you do forget things. So I think I just naturally have a bad memory. I don't think I can help it.
I just love a schedule. Like whenever I get a cameo that's sort of asking me for help and advice with studying and all that kind of stuff, I just think having a schedule where you always know what you're doing. Because like, let's say you go, I want to study 8 hours today and I want to go to the gym and I want to have lunch and I also want to have some breaks and reward myself and enjoy life. Having a schedule where like when you're on the break, you're looking at it and going, I'm on break time, just makes your breaks feel so not guilty. You just don't feel guilty because you're like...
Do you put break time in?
Yeah, definitely. Wow. To be like, I'm allowed half an hour off to play a game of chess or, listen to an audiobook or, I don't know. Do something fun. Go for a walk in the sun.
I started just writing down what I need to do for the day and then not look at it and just see how much I can get done out of memory. Because otherwise... Yeah. Because if I'm looking at the schedule all the time, I'll just procrastinate.
Oh, but then
so I'm better to just go with the flow.
If you've got a schedule that goes like, today I'm gymming from 3 till 4, you're never gonna not gym that day. Pretty much.
Yeah, but I know for a fact I'm not gonna work to the time frame.
Oh, okay.
So if I put it in to 3 to 4, I'll end up doing it at 6 p.m. Why? Everything. I don't know.
But then it gets to 2:55 and you're like, all right, I've got a gym at 3.
Yeah, but things come up all the time on the day. Do you get that?
Kind of.
Like something comes up and I'm like, I have to do that now. And it takes way longer than you thought it was going to take.
Yeah.
And then you're like, that has to go later. That has to go to tomorrow. This has to be. So I'd rather just like have a rough idea of things I need to get done.
Like wake up, 4 hours in the GTA casino.
Go, yeah, because obviously I have to do that as well. How else am I going to make my money? So I'm better at going. I'm better at going with the flow than following like the time schedule.
Yeah, I'm the exact opposite. If I want to be as productive as possible, I need to just plan it because then it's almost like I'm on autopilot.
Can you give us an insight as to what you had planned like today up until the podcast? Like, would you write down like, let's say 8 a.m. wake up, 9 a.m.
Yeah. So today was like 9 till 9:30, wake up, brush my teeth, have breakfast. 9:30 till 12:30 was literally just prepare for the podcast. And so I just,
really?
Was just reading
what,
stuff.
And that's written down on your Notion? Like, that's your skill. Wow.
I've got a proper timed, I should bring it up at some point. Maybe I'll screenshot it and we can pull it up on screen sometime. But I have a genuinely like wake up time, chill time, like work time, lunch time, breakfast time.
Wow.
Because then I love being on lunch and finishing lunch at like 1:45 and being like, for 15 minutes I can just do whatever I want and not feel guilty.
Wow.
And it's so nice.
I don't think I
enjoyable.
Could do that.
And then if I'm like, I need to film two videos today, I'm never stressing going, God, am I going to have time? When do I squeeze them in? I go, I already know from 5 till 6:30, filming this video, 6:30 till 8, I'm filming this video, 8 o'clock I have dinner, finish dinner at 9, from 9 till 11, I'm prepping the next day. Maybe I'll go to the gym in the evening.
Damn.
Yeah. It feels like I guess everyone's different.
Yeah. That's true.
But yeah, anyway, we were talking about like testing your memory and I think...
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
I forgot. Sorry.
And I think probably chess is something that tests your memory because obviously you got to learn opening theory. And the whole thing of chess is like pattern recognition. So you see a pattern once, you kind of remember it. And then the more you play it, the more patterns you see. That's why people practice puzzles, because like you eventually see the same checkmating pattern come up and over again.
No, I think I'm just probably getting more stupid because I do more things that would destroy my memory than
You should work something in. Maybe you should get into chess. I would love for you to be into chess.
I don't think I have the time for it because I'd rather put the time somewhere else.
Yeah, but I think you need to mix in things. Like, it's like with the Pomodoro effect, like method, like working in breaks and having fun does make you do more work overall. Because like you say, you don't procrastinate. Like if you've got an hour to film and it's in your schedule, you just do smash that out. And then you've got the half an hour to break and play chess or whatever, you do it. Whereas if you go, oh, I'm going to film at some point, you might be doom scrolling for 45 minutes and getting ready and doing this and going, oh, maybe I'll do this, or checking your emails or checking video statistics. And I think you actually can end up doing less trying to work all the time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think marathon training has thrown everything out of whack because now everything...
That's true.
It's because I did 16K yesterday, an hour and 40 minutes just out of my day just to run.
Is it worth it?
Because then also I like to lift weights as well. Because I feel like, if I'm just running, then I'm not going to be like hitting my targets of like weightlifting. So then it's like I'm exercising for 2.5, 3 hours in that portion of the day, which just wipes out such a big chunk of the day. That feels like free time. So it's like, well, I haven't been doing work then, so I need to then work this period of time.
But is it work? Like, how come you're doing this marathon thing? Like,
I just want to do it. Just want to run a marathon.
Also
just wanted to build up my fitness, and it's a good, like, you got skin in the game, you'll do it.
That's fair.
And it is true.
But yeah, human memory, not perfect and can be unreliable, can be distorted, incomplete, or entirely inaccurate when recalling past events, often due to the brain's reconstructive process of retrieving memories, which can be influenced by various factors like context, emotion, and existing beliefs. It is really interesting the way the brain works with memory.
Yeah.
Sort of like when you remember things, you're not remembering the original event. You're remembering the last time you remembered it. So if there's a gap, like let's say you're remembering something and there's a gap, sometimes your brain can fill in that gap. And the next time you remember it, you're remembering that memory with the filled in gap. And you think that was what you saw or witnessed or whatever originally.
Right.
And then obviously your memory's not going to be perfect, so it's going to change over time. And so there are loads of really cool examples that we've got of times when the incorrect memories have... You know what? Why don't you just read the first one? Take it away.
Okay. Sorry, I forgot what we were doing. What am I doing? Just a funny joke.
Read example BI.
Oh, in a study in the 1990s, participants recalled getting lost in a shopping mall as children. Some even shared these memories in vivid details. One even remembered that the old man who rescued them was wearing a flannel shirt. But none of these people had ever been lost in a mall. They produced these false memories when the psychologist conducting the study told them they got lost, and although they thought they remembered, their parents confirmed that their memories were false. A quarter of all participants produced false memories. False memories.
Damn, a
false
quarter.
memories.
That is crazy.
I know I got lost in a shopping mall.
You can just make someone believe something. Did you?
Yeah. Yeah, you can just make someone believe something, can't you?
Yeah.
It's called gaslighting.
You watched... Oh, you're the master of that. And have you seen Darren Brown?
No, I'm not.
And he sort of, this one really sticks with me, that he sort of goes, he says to this person, write down the number one present you really want for your birthday or Christmas or whatever. They write it down. A little bit later, he comes in with a box, opens it up, bam, brand new bike. And he's like, we sealed this in the envelope and I haven't seen it. Look, it's still sealed. And they open it up and it'll be like, oh, a skipping rope. And they'll be like, no, I definitely wanted the brand new bike, and they didn't. He's just manipulated their memory with psychology.
Oh, he's the ultimate gaslighter, though, Darren Brown.
He blows my mind.
Oh yeah, he blows it off.
He blows my mind out.
He blows your mind out. Oh, he blows your back out and your mind out. That's
great. No, but it's a powerful tool to be able to, and it also makes us very vulnerable.
But I can't be gaslit.
Law
I
time.
simply refuse.
Eyewitness misidentification. It's a leading cause of wrongful convictions. The Innocence Project has found that 69% of wrongful convictions overturned by DNA evidence involved mistaken eyewitness testimony. Eyewitness errors are particularly common in violent crimes where stress and fear impair memory.
Wow.
Can you imagine that? Just having someone in a courtroom being like, it was you. I saw him do it. And you're there like, I bloody didn't.
Do you know what? This is a good time to bring it up as well. There's too many fake me's walking around claiming to be me. I get DMs all the time saying, oh, I just met you here. I just met you in Manchester. Oh, I just met you on a golf course in New Zealand. You're a bit of an arsehole, but thanks for getting a photo. It was never me. Most of the time, it's not me. Let me just make that clear. You probably have never met me. There's too many people who look a bit like me and just say that they're me. Like there's a Cardiff Italian Bach walking around.
No way.
I saw TikTok about it. And it's not me, guys.
Are you ever worried you're going to get in trouble? Like,
yeah, I am.
Liv will be like, what's this TikTok then? And it'll be like, oh, I got fingered by Bach in the club last night. And you're like, that's in Perth, Australia.
Yeah, exactly.
And it happened last night. I was with you all night.
I am actually concerned now because I get so many DMs of people saying, oh, it was so lovely to meet you yesterday. You were really nice. And I'm like, oh, what did he fucking do? What has he done?
He could say something crazy.
He could say something crazy.
Clones.
He could do something crazy. Even if he just kissed someone.
Yeah. And then everyone's like, oh, I saw Batch making out with this girl in Perth, Australia last night.
Yeah. So, yeah, just... I don't leave the house, so you've not seen me ever.
Not ever.
Let me make that clear.
Seriously, never.
Never. Ain't never.
And do you want to do the last one?
Yeah. Stress and anxiety reduce accuracy. A 2004 study found that people exposed to high-stress situations identified suspects with only 27% accuracy, compared to 62% in low-stress situations.
It is crazy how stuff like that can impact your memory so much. Even simple things like not having slept well, not having a good diet.
I find I can't... If something had happened that stressed me out or gave me anxiety or scared me, I could not picture the thing that just happened.
Really?
Yeah, just like your mind blanks.
It is a weird thing that happens from time to time. People suffer something like a terrible tragedy or something awful happen to them, and they like do entirely forget, and then they go to like a therapist and say, why do I basically have PTSD surrounding, this weird, I don't know, Minecraft witch?
I'll leave her out of it.
Actually, by the way, like when you were a kid, they find out that when they were a kid, they were playing Minecraft, and like
what did she do?
That was when their dog died or something, and they've just not got it in their memory, but because they've almost like blocked it out from their memory.
Can we let her at least stand up for herself on this
go
one?
On. Is that even the noise witches make?
No, they go.
Yeah.
I think they laugh and then they just throw a potion at you.
Yeah, that used to upset me.
Just like a creep in a club.
Yeah, really is.
They used to upset.
What?
Yeah, they're actually the scariest
A
mobs.
creeper, what?
Just a creep in a club.
Oh, creep in a club. I thought you were saying creeper or something.
No. Why? Did that give you PTSD?
Yes.
Creeper? Where? Creeper?
Imagine being out and about in in the middle of the day and hearing that.
I wonder
that
if
would
you would
shit me up.
shit yourself. Yeah.
It would if you heard it in 3 dimensions behind you.
That would. I would actually shit myself probably.
Like in some of my horror games, like I would put the 3D knock, so I'd be like, oh, thanks for watching. What's that behind you? And then have the doc.
Oh, you put that edit in.
I put that edit in.
That's
so as
clever.
I'm saying bye, like people that are listening with headphones brick it, and the comments always crack me up, being like, "You really got me."
So you're evil.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's the most evil thing I've actually ever heard. Edited ever.
I think it's very funny. It's impossible to recall your first few years, but many believe they can. Artist Salvador Dali claimed to remember his time in the womb in his first few years of life. This was almost certainly because of his incredible artistic.
Yeah, I had a friend who said they can remember when they were born.
No way.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
That's so odd.
I can't.
What's your earliest memory?
Oh, when I was born. It was me. I'm the friend. No, I don't know. I can't remember. I can't remember my earliest memory, to be honest with you. Because
then it's not an earliest memory. What is the earliest thing you remember now?
Well, no, because I could pull something. I could say, "Oh, I remember having this like fight," but I could give me 5 minutes. I could remember something before that, but I couldn't remember if that was really before.
Give me something now, like a really early memory.
You
know what? Whilst you think of one, I'll tell you 2. I remember one. I think it was in the same place as well. I don't know whether it was like Barbados or Mauritius or something. It's in like a hot place with my family, and they learned to scuba dive, and I snuck off. I think I was like 6 or 7, and I got the scuba diving equipment and like went in the pool and like tried to start breathing with it. And the guy came over and caught me, and I shat myself. I was so embarrassed, and he was like, "You don't know what you're doing." And I was like, "Oh God." And he was like, "You've got to breathe out before you can breathe in. That's why this wasn't working for you." And I just remember being mortified. And I remember the other one. I just remember looking up, seeing like a ceiling of water, and my brother just out of it, and me standing on the floor. And he had essentially fallen in the water, and he was really young, probably way too young, like 3 years old, like too young to swim. And I jumped in, like grabbed him by the legs and just held him up. But I was like sat on the like bottom of the pool,
You're a
not
hero.
that high, saved him. And my mum was just gassing me up for years after, being like, I'm so proud of you. Just
Gassing
like,
you
because
up.
I was obviously like completely unable to breathe. I was just sort of accepting that I couldn't breathe. Like, you know,
You put your life on the
put,
line.
put my little brother above me. And my mum always used to go, my little hero. And
Wow.
I think that's one of the things, like obviously repeating memories makes you remember it more, you know.
Yeah.
It's you're going over those links and strengthening them. So by practicing chest openings, like revising, all that kind of stuff, going over things makes you remember things more. You're securing those pathways more. And I think just hearing that story over and over again just really made me remember.
How old were you?
Yeah, I think I was about 7.
Oh, so you can't remember before 7?
Oh, actually, I have a memory. I have memories of being in reception and nursery when I was 3 and 4, actually. Because I remember having a crush on a girl when I was in reception.
When you remember it and you picture it in your brain, are you looking through your eyes or are you looking through someone else's eyes of it from an external view?
I can picture like the school, the room, my teacher, what she looked like, what the classroom looked like. Like it's as if I'm watching a movie. It's not going like through my eye.
No, you
Wait,
can see
do you
yourself.
can you picture an apple in full HD in your head?
I could picture the one at home in my fruit bowl.
But like
picture
if
my
I say
fruit bowl.
picture, don't close your eyes, picture a red apple. Can you see it like crystal clear?
I think so.
What do you mean you think so?
I know what it looks like, I think. I can't picture
I
a
think-
face.
What do you mean? You can't picture a face?
No.
You must have this thing. Can we Google it? What's it called? Aphantasia?
But I can picture the
It's
one
with
at
a
home,
PH,
but not
yeah.
like...
So if you click on images, so this is like the varying degrees of it. And so I think I spoke about this on the fellas, but like I think 2 of us were 1 and 1 of us was 5. I think maybe Freezy couldn't. So like if someone says picture an apple or like picture Mbappe, like I can just picture Mbappe's face.
Okay, I can picture Mbappe's face.
I can just, you
Yeah.
can just see it. Like it's not seeing it with your eyes, but it's as if you're looking at his face.
It's like a
And also
memory
a
of
different
a time
camera.
that you've seen his face.
But some people, when you say picture an apple, will go, I can kind of picture the concept of an apple. I know what an apple's like. I know what an apple is, but like I'm not seeing one.
I can picture one that I've got at home.
Yeah. So maybe you're.
Well, I think I
one or
can do
two.
it. I think I can do it.
But some people are very much like, I don't see anything.
Right.
And they must have a different kind of conscious experience to us. And it's like
Yeah.
some people don't have inside voices. Like when I'm
yeah.
if I'm walking somewhere, I'm like speaking in English in a conversation, aren't you?
Yeah.
And some people don't have that internal monologue.
Yeah,
And
that's
so they
strange
aren't
to
thinking
me.
with a monologue. And I just can't imagine what life is like.
Yeah, mine's constant. Oh yeah, I've got one.
I'm constantly speaking my brain. It
Jarring,
never
really.
stops.
Yeah. This guy in my head doesn't shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my earliest memory is probably like just being in like primary school.
Yeah.
Maybe even earlier. I do remember like my it's not nursery. It's like, is it nursery? I don't know. When you get dropped off and you're just riding around on scooters for a bit.
Right.
Just sort of remember that.
You did that in the podcast today. Is that not what you're thinking?
Oh,
hours ago,
yeah. Oh shit, you're right.
Scooting around.
No, that was earlier. My bad. No, yeah, we just used to scoot around, I think.
You ever had an argument where you and someone else remember the same event totally differently?
Yeah, all the time, yeah. But it's so hard to just think that you could possibly be remembering it wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so sure I'm right.
Yeah. I had this with Chris on the golf course.
Oh, have I seen the video of that?
Probably,
Yeah.
yeah. But he was certain that I hit a 9 and I was certain I hit a 7. Terrible round of golf, by the way. Both of which are abysmal.
The
I was
par was
miles
2,
behind.
but-
I was really far behind Chris, Randolph and Theo. And I think I was swinging and I was in the rough and I went, woof. And like when you swing, you follow through and you almost end up like looking towards the sky. At least I did because I was very off balance. I'm bad at golf. And look back down and the golf ball was still there.
Yeah.
So I wasn't counting that as a stroke. I think you're supposed to. But we
If
do
you
it
hit
anyway.
yeah.
Only if you hit it. Some people do it if you swing at it, but some people do if you hit it. I can't remember. I don't know what the official thing is because I don't really play golf.
Yeah.
But I was going, oh, I didn't hit that. So I'm not counting that as a swing because I swung, didn't feel like I hit it, looked down, golf ball was still there. So I wasn't counting it, but Chris was. But he's very like, when he believes something is true, he really like wanted me to accept it.
Yeah.
And I was also the exact same way the other way around. Like, you know, it's my score. I'm keeping count. Why should I accept it from you?
Was there an external source that
No, there
can
wasn't.
confirm or deny?
No.
So it was just your word
got
versus
Theo
his.
to claim that Theo was also watching, but Theo wasn't, and I knew Theo wasn't because when I was hitting it, he was walking in front of me. So I was like,
Right.
I've got to make sure I don't hit Theo. But we ended up that evening being like, we need to figure out when we both believe different things, how we resolve that conflict if we can't investigate it. And it's really interesting because it's happened a few times and we both just go like, no, I know what I think, you know what you think.
Yeah.
But Chris wants me to accept it and I won't accept it because I don't necessarily believe it. And we were like, we have to accept when we have to almost like agree to disagree, which it doesn't come naturally to either our characters, I guess.
You had to have an intervention.
Because
didn't you?
I would, to be convinced of the 9, I would need like sufficient evidence. I'm not just going to go, oh yeah, I believe it because you say it. And he is going, well, I've seen it as 9, therefore you have to accept it. And there's no real like logical way of resolving that. You know,
Hey,
I
listen.
have to take the bad score or he has to accept that.
He
I'm
doesn't
taking the
listen
better
to our podcast. He'll never see this. Did you hit the ball?
I don't think so, but he would be convinced that I am. And so I would be happy to say that I could be wrong about what I remember.
Yeah.
Like it may be the case that I did hit it 9 times, but unless he can convince that of me, like I feel like I didn't want to just take a 9, you know?
Yeah. So what did you do in the end?
Took an 8.
You won.
So
I did not take the 9.
I was thinking 7, he was thinking 9, so we settled on an 8. But he also didn't want to do that. I was like, okay, let's compromise. Let's meet on an 8. And he was like, no, I saw you get 9. You're taking a 9. Oh.
Wait, so how did you think 7 and he thought 9? That's 2 shots difference.
Oh, it must have happened twice. Like I was in the rough a lot. But yeah, it's kind of funny because we both really like someone challenging us and trying to like debate it out.
So he enjoyed it.
We both really enjoy being like, I'm right, here's why, I'm more, because as well with that kind of stuff, you have to go from like logic that leads you to an inevitable conclusion to what's most likely.
Right.
And we both had then the debate of like what's most likely. Obviously, we also go like I kind of brought in like, oh, we were there for Harry's birthday. Whether I got a 7 or a 9 isn't hugely relevant. Like it's something that like if I'm keeping my score, it was one of those things where like we both really love having those conversations where we want to convince the other person type thing.
Yeah.
And like we were kind of like laughing and enjoying it, but also it technically is a sort of like, I don't know, confrontation. So yeah.
Well, yeah, you came to blows at the
Because
end.
what do you like with that? Like if someone goes like, yeah, I don't know. Do you ever really have it where?
I usually concede.
Do you?
Yeah. I never used to, but I also used to be like more, what's the word? Competitive and more but now I'm just way more. And also I used to like to take charge in everything that I did. I just became a lot more like, oh no, whatever. I'll just leave it. I just think it's like in a situation like that, I personally would probably be like, okay, I'll just take the 9 because I'm like, I'd rather do that than debate it.
Yeah.
Personally, just because that's just how I.
And
but
then you'd also be the same on the flip side. If you saw
Yeah,
me and thought I got 9,
yeah, I'd be like, okay, my bad. Yeah,
you wouldn't insist that I take it. So
Yeah, I'm just more of a conceder. So
Yeah.
if there's like a disagreement, I'm happy to just be like, yeah, fine, let's just do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think like the older I get as well, the more it's exactly like the thing with Weller. Like I think there's a time and place, and if someone's enjoying a debate and we're like, there's a competitive kind of enjoyment about it.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it, but I wouldn't sit there and go, I insist upon my point of view. I wouldn't like insist upon another person accepting it. Like I think if me and you had a disagreement about something, maybe your natural inclination to concede might mean that it would be more likely that my preferred outcome would be the case.
Yeah.
But like I would be much less insistent that we do choose my outcome. If I was like, oh, I think it should be this, and I think strongly about this, and you go, oh, I don't really mind, I would all of a sudden almost like take a step back and go, oh, actually,
oh, maybe
I actually don't really.
I know what you
mind
mean.
like,
That's what I think.
I mean?
Maybe so maybe say you're like, no, I'm going to put a 7, and Chris goes, okay, fine, if you feel like that, and then you might turn around and be like, oh, but I could do an 8 just in case. Or like,
Yeah.
So in a way, if he goes softer, he gets more of what he wants.
Yes, it's quite suitsy, quite Harvey Specter. Like sometimes you got to play the man.
Oh, you got to know how. Yeah, you got to know how to play them.
Yeah,
interesting.
Like with this, like I think when we were doing the set, I think if I don't know, like let's say people thought that it should be a red planet and like a deserty, dusty one. I feel like that's a lot less cozy. Like I feel like I would have felt quite strongly about that.
What, to go against the red?
Yeah.
Because I would argue red's more cozy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, maybe you're right.
Because like
you want to change it now,
the reason that people like you have Facebook and Twitter and them kind of go on blue is because it's more calming and like,
I thought blue was the opposite. Blue wakes you up, red puts you to sleep, no?
That's light, yeah.
But then
blue light is more awakening and red light, yeah.
And I feel like it would have the same effect anyway, just as a colour in itself.
It would be more warming. But I think can we Google this? I think the colour blue, I think the reason Facebook and Twitter and stuff are blue is because it's supposed to be the most calming, like enjoyable. Calmness, peace, stability, and trust. That's symbolic.
Well, I see what you mean. Like,
I'm sure there's some science behind it.
Yeah, if you're looking at symbol, because like red's seen as like evil and deadly.
But even now, like I think at the moment our lighting is quite cold.
Yeah. Because
we've got a lot of white on the set. They're blue lights. We've got a bit of purple to like balance it out. But I do think maybe we should get, the like orange donut thing you have at home.
Yeah.
That orange warm light. And maybe we go from blue to a bit more purple and maybe switch the white lights for some more yellow.
Look at that. And that's because I conceded and now he's saying, let's go red.
I think, well, kind of, yeah. But I mean, I think, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know what to do. I think lighting can be quite hard.
I think we should have a red month.
Oh,
let's change the whole set for
let's visit a red planet.
Let's change the whole set for a month.
Yeah.
Like that idea?
Interesting.
So I forgot we were talking about memories and then we got on to...
We were talking about whether you have arguments about remembering differently. So for example, like, say for example, you think you remembered something one way,
yeah,
and Liv thinks that she remembered something one way. Do you tend to have a way of like hashing that out or coming to a conclusion, or do you tend to just go, okay, no, like if you remembered it a certain way, it is that way? Not necessarily talking about argument, just even if it's like a...
Most of the time I'll concede and then think in my head, no, I know I'm right, but this is easier.
You get that with me from time to time. Just be like...
Yeah, I get it with everyone. I'll be like, oh, I'll concede, but I know I'm right.
That's so funny.
Like I still think red is warmer. Really? Red is cozier, yeah.
So would you...
Oh, but I'll concede.
Would you, given the choice, want to switch this to a red planet set with red lights?
Yeah, I would have gone for a red reboot, actually.
Oh, interesting. Well, I mean, we can change the screens and the LEDs very easily, right?
Yeah.
So we should try red at some point to see what people think.
Yeah, I just like red and orange. But also bear in mind, I'm controlled by my obsessions. And I'm obsessed with the desert at the moment, so... Yeah,
well, you're painting the other day, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you truly can't trust my opinion, because it will change in the next couple of weeks anyway. If I were to watch something with a blue planet in, I'd be like, oh, we should not have changed to fucking red.
Well, I think...
We should have stayed blue.
I think having watched Dune, that made me think...
Oh, shit, now you...
No, the other way. It was very... it was very red, dry and barren, hostile environment. It makes me think desert. Like blue planet, you talk about Earth being a blue planet.
But that's just gas.
Well, that is, because what's that, Neptune?
Yeah.
But Earth is blue and that's water. I love the colour of the sky. I love the colour of the sea. They're my two favourite colours of things to look at in nature.
Oh, that's so true. You like blue.
I do. I love blue. And I've won. And you let me.
And you let me, you idiot. Yeah,
that's so funny because I
like red because I like a sunset. I like...
See, that's the thing. I don't want someone to concede and just be like, oh, he wants it this way, I want it that way, I want it.
Yeah, because then you feel slight guilt and you're like,
Yeah.
maybe I should let him have that.
Want to, and it's that's the kind of other thing with the debating, like God, like I also enjoy those things because I accept that I might not be right. Like I want someone who believes strongly in like a Joella, maybe like a spiritual God, maybe like a deism or Christianity or Islam to be like, oh, by the way, I believe that. And I don't just want to debate them because I want to go, oh, by the way, I'm right. And I want to, put forward my stronger arguments. And
You
I think
want
I'm
to
right.
tear
I
them
want you to
down.
be wrong. I want us both to go, we both are convinced of this. Let's together find out what's true.
Yeah.
And that's why I find like I say, like watching like the Muslim lantern speak because he's intelligent.
The Muslim what?
The Muslim lantern.
Threw me off because when you said lantern, it makes me think of Green Lantern. So I was picturing a Muslim
Oh, like a superhero. He's kind of like an intellectual superhero.
There you go. They got aptly named.
On certain
keep
theological
saying that.
parts anyway. Yeah, you said that a
And
lot.
I could not tell you how to spell aptly either. I'm just saying it and think, is that as aptly as a word? Is
Yeah, APTLY.
Yeah, aptly named.
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh, how did you guys meet? Let's see if you both remember it the same way.
Oh, well,
This was on a collab video, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
bittersweet.
Is that the time we... Was that the first time we met?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. First time we met.
Oh, it was when you were doing the video with it, Chip?
Pub crawl. It
Yeah.
was Chip pub crawl. We met on the streets.
That's true. We met on the streets.
And with the whole gang, I was like, oh, batch.
That's crazy, isn't it? Because I didn't know any of you guys, and I wasn't friends with any of you guys, but all of you are my friends.
Yeah, that's true. Probably your closest friends in social
Weird.
media.
Yeah.
Like, that's the type
George
of
was
video
there.
you would come along there.
George was
Yeah.
there, Chip, you,
Chris.
Theo?
Theo was there, I think, yeah.
Was that it?
Oh, man, that's crazy to think about. Why did
That's
I say hi
crazy.
to you? I must have been friends with you in some capacity.
No. We hadn't spoken before ever.
What? But I think I came up to you.
We
and
must
oh my
have-
God, it's batch.
We must have followed each other maybe or something like that. Or just been aware of each other.
Yeah.
Because I only knew Chip.
I think we followed each other.
It must have just
Because
been
I think
that.
when I was saying hi, I was saying like oh, hey, it's like a
I mean, we had
friend.
mutual friends, yeah.
Yeah.
But Chip, for instance, I'd seen Chip before at I can't remember if I'd seen him before at
You can't remember
a
this.
premiere or not,
is
or if it was
perfect.
after. But Chip followed me and I followed Chip, and I think he might have commented on one of my videos or something. So I knew him. I knew that he knew me well enough to be like, oh, hello, if that makes sense. And then, yeah, I was saying hello to him and you were sort of with him and I was like, oh, Arthur, hey. And then you came over and we got a picture.
That's so interesting. Yeah,
That
we
is
did. We got a
crazy.
group pic.
Because I was having a meeting with my manager down the road and then I was walking and I saw this camera go past and the guys, and I was like, these are the YouTubers. And then it was you two.
Can you imagine someone just tapped you on the shoulder
Crazy.
by being like, by the way, in a year's time, every time there's a video like that, you'll be on it.
Yeah.
You'll be with the boys. Like
So
they'll be
weird.
some of your best mates.
That
who
was
live
my
in the
aim as
building with
well.
Arthur.
It was all planned.
Oh, you
I
were just
chose that
circling that.
meeting point. I had a tracker on you the whole time, pal.
No.
Seriously. Because if you leave a butt plug around Arthur, he's going to put it in. So I put an AirTag butt plug
What?
just outside your building.
Oh,
And you just pop that thing in and I've been following you ever since.
interesting.
Speaking
Speaking of firsts, there's a first time for everything,
don't really like it when you say that and look at me.
including YouTube videos.
Oh, yeah. That's right. YouTube videos.
So there was the video of young Arthur Hill going around when he hit 100 subscribers for the first time.
100 subscribers, you're doing all
Yeah,
this
let's
for
watch it.
100.
Let's watch it.
Like, yeah, 100 is a big damn number. Thinking like, I always think of it as, say if I'm on stage or something, there's like just a room of just like 100 people. And that's quite a lot of people, and that was a target when God, my YouTube career, me being like 15, it's been way too bad and way too long. I think I started with, Jammy Lamb was my first channel, and that was back in like year 7, I think,
Jammy
year 7
Lamb.
and 8. And I'm in year 9. No, I'm not in year 9, I'm in year 10 now. If you're American, that's like, I don't know what that is, but I'm 15. So,
I don't know what that is. I love how it's
so
very
God,
raw.
that's
It's like this kind of stuff would be very popular today.
I was actually watching this at the time he uploaded it. I was a big fan of
Were
it.
you?
Yeah, I was one of the first 1,000.
That's so funny because
It's a big damn number.
Twitch stream with some of the like OG YouTubers back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's been around been on the scene for a while.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that. I was like, that's crazy.
So funny.
But yeah, that video brought a tear dripping down my leg because he.
Oh, that is disgusting.
No, I didn't. I didn't mean to say
The way
that.
you smiled before you, just before you started saying
I
it.
knew what I was gonna
when
say.
you were like, you know what, I know I'm going to say it.
I'm gonna do it.
You sicko.
But yeah, no, it. I love that. That's so wholesome.
That's funny, by the way, because I slapped my thigh as you went, audio listeners probably thought I just slapped you.
No, and also video listeners probably think that I feel what you felt. Ain't that right? Slap yourself. Ow.
Oh, that's so weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
So my first video, I don't know if I've ever spoken about this.
Go ahead.
So when I started YouTube, before I did the airline, so the airline stuff was like my first kind of like, I'm making a YouTube video to be like,
This is me.
like this is kind of how I'm starting like YouTube. But I don't know how to put this into words.
Oh, my first YouTube video was sort of like, this is how I'm going to start YouTube.
But before that, I was making these things. I saw this, do you know Cowbelly, the YouTube channel?
No.
He used to just do text-to-speech memes on screen. And he used to bang like 500,000 views every single day on these videos. Every single day, text-to-speech memes would come out a couple minutes long. And I was like, the amount of money this guy must be making is insane. And I was like, there must be a system of doing this that's really easy where I can find me memes, get a system to text-to-speech them, and I can make a lot of money. And so I made these things called comment awards, which later changed to arthurtv memes. And I only made like 10, 15 of them, and then I stopped. And then Airline Freakouts Part 1 was when I was like, oh, I'm going to start doing YouTube. So this was like almost like a pre-chapter.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Pre-beginning.
click on the word memes.
2013. Oh my god. Haha. A major brand's Twitter account used the word bay. 2018. The Wendy's Twitter account just told me to go fuck
Even now
myself.
you love these comments.
I do, really do.
Is handed peer-reviewed journal. Haha. No. I want CGI pictures of
They're all so
space
funny. They really are. I can still enjoy
this.
this. It's such good
Boss,
content.
know why I called you in here?
This is so easy to watch as
Because
well.
I accidentally
Music,
set you a dick.
the edits.
Boss stops pouring 2 glasses of wine. Accidentally? Imagine being held at gunpoint, bear with me, by a literal animal, and the only hope of rescue is, bear with me, tweeting
They're
a
just-
coded message.
That's clever.
My
Oh,
favourite
this is the last one we'll watch,
animals
but this is
who
my
are just the
favourite one.
random birds walking around like they belong. Go home, pigeon.
I
This
think
is
of that
Fancy Bird
every
Town.
single time I'm in
Walking in
I'm in the zoo.
That
There's a
is-
pigeon there, and I'm like, get out of here, bird. This is Fancy Bird Town.
That should never have won an award. That
Is
is
it not?
classic parent on Facebook commentary.
Yeah, it was. They were quite basic, but I was thinking like, you've got to appeal to the broader audience.
And how did they go?
Oh, they only got a couple hundred views each. But they built like my first original like kind of subscriber base, which is when I launched Airline Passengers Losing Their Shit. I had a subscriber base, and then I was like, right, now it's time to like.
And did the first one blow up? Did the first one?
The first one I think is one of my most viewed videos of all time. It's got like 6 million views. It's because I posted it. That was like I had like 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, go on arthurtv and go to my most viewed videos. There you go. Airline Passengers Losing Their Shit. 5.8 million views.
Oh my
Years
god!
ago. And it's because I hit 1,000 subscribers, so I was monetized through the comment awards, and then I posted it on the r/public freakouts subreddit, and it got to the front of that, and so it just drove an insane amount of traffic over.
Wow.
And it was one of those things where every time I uploaded one of those videos, I'd post it there, and when I had no subscribers, everyone was like, "Good job, man! Love the commentary. Think this is hilarious. Keep it up." I got 10, 15,000 subscribers. People were going, "Oh, self-promo, this is so lame." And the second that I started being successful with it, the comments changed from being very nice and supportive to being very like, "Oh, stop promoting your YouTube videos."
Wow.
And I was like, "Oh, that shit
Jealousy.
is kind of sad."
Yeah,
Success breeds jealousy. That's what they say.
that's true.
Not that 15,000 subscribers was like
Wow.
a crazy thing to brag about, but it was cool. I was proud of
Crazy
it at the
after
time.
the first video
But it was funny.
Right.
Yeah.
in that series. That's nuts.
Yeah. And it got it really quickly. And then your first video.
Yeah, I mean, I've got this is the first video on the current account I have, because it originally was Isaac Smith Fit. The Italian Bach YouTube channel was Isaac Smith Fit. So I did the first 2-3 videos are like fitness related.
So you didn't do what you did on TikTok, which is create Isaac Smith Fit and then create Italian
No, I
Bach.
just used the same channel because I posted like 3 videos and I was like, I'm just going to start doing whatever I want on YouTube.
Yeah, you might as well.
So the first video on this channel is 10-minute abs, and
I did go through a real big dilemma on whether I change Arthur TV to Arthur Frederick and just post this kind of content.
yeah,
Because like I hit 500,000 And like I haven't got that now, like a year or two later.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, here we go.
I hate
What's up,
it.
everyone? Welcome to my channel. This is
Wow,
gonna be
the
first video. We're
trim
gonna hit 10
and no
minute
moustache.
ads. When you guys follow along, we're gonna get shredded for the summer. Let's go.
God.
Oh my
It's,
god.
you know what, the let's fucking go. It's so cringe. And then I am just, you see my hand imprints on the on the floor.
Oh, because you'd done a few takes.
Yeah. Do you know what's crazy as well? I'm doing this ab workout with shoes on in the living room because I think it looks cool. And I can't even do it.
Oh.
I take breaks whilst the time is still going.
No way.
Yeah. But I just thought, this 10-minute abs has to be the moneymaker because people will come back and watch it over and over and over
And
again.
there's that girl, isn't there? Do you know who I'm talking about? She does
Yes,
like the
yeah, I know who
5
you're
minute
talking
ab
about.
workout.
It was
And she got tens of millions of views.
I think it was a similar time I started doing this.
There you go, guys. That's a 10-minute ab workout. I can definitely feel it. If you're taking rest, don't worry about it. I was taking rest too. Keep doing it every day and you'll definitely improve. More videos coming out soon. Subscribe, like.
I was also trying to be really cool on camera as well.
Yeah, you can tell.
Like different accent, everything.
Yeah.
Subscribe,
Talking a bit like
comment,
this.
whatever you got to
Right,
do.
honestly, don't worry about it.
If you take a rest, so was I, brother. Don't even fucking care at this point.
It's so funny, isn't it, how you do that? I even kind of did that
Yeah.
when so between 1K and 100K, I was faceless. And I look back and my voice is like deeper. I essentially used
Welcome
to speak
back.
like memeless.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, most of my beginning videos on this channel, my voice is different because I'm like, fucking hell, that's fucking crazy. Like,
Oh,
really?
my-
You know, you're in that stage
Yeah.
where you're like, I don't want people to think I'm uncool posting YouTube videos,
Mhm.
so I'll just try and come across like I don't even care about
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
So I did that, and now I'm out here talking about rose toys, getting freaky with it.
It's kind of nice to be able to hit the point where you're like, oh, I can actually be myself and people
Yeah.
don't mind it.
Yeah.
Because I think now the thing I love most about doing the videos on the Arthur Frederick channel, like I really like the 90 Day Fiancé and TV breakdowns and doing like in-depth analysis and like, you know, getting deep on things. But I love now just being able to fire up the camera and just be myself, be a bit weird, give my opinions on stuff, make a few jokes and have people be like, oh, I'm enjoying kind of just like hanging out with you.
That's why I hated doing the fitness stuff because you didn't really get your personality
Yeah.
through there. It was just, I was trying to be serious, just like, oh, you want to gain muscle? This is how you gain muscle.
Mm.
Whereas now I can
Yeah.
post whatever I
'Cause
want. and
they
it's
could
just me.
technically get that from reading an article written by
Yeah.
anyone.
Yeah.
Whereas now they can only get,
They can't grow an attachment to
humour
like
and-
your humor and how
Yeah.
you are. Like,
yeah, for sure.
yeah. So I'm glad we got past that stage of my life.
Yeah. And last up, we've got some listener questions.
Okay.
So we got Patreon member Lucy. Do you want to take this one?
Sure. If you could pick any woman's body, don't like that how this is starting, dead or alive,
What the hell? This is a macabre.
for a day, who would you pick? I'm interested to see what route you go down to choose someone. If you'd like, you can also pick a specific day in history or the future you would want to be this woman. So whose woman's body would I want to be in, dead or
That's
alive
a really
for a
funny
day?
way of saying it.
Also a weird question anyway.
Rather than just being like, which women from history would you rather like live as?
Oh, but
her
we only get
body.
a day in her body. Dead or alive, any day you can pick it as well.
Cleopatra would be cool.
Hmm.
Going back to ancient Egypt.
Yeah. I would actually want to spend a day in Liv's body, my girlfriend.
Why
By
live?
the way, I've got a girlfriend, by the way. Because I saw this post about, if your girl, because like Liv's quite short, she's 5'2".
Oh,
And I've always wondered what it'd be like for her, because she always says, I'm so jealous that you can reach the top shelves, you can
yeah.
jump, and she never says that, but I can imagine she's jealous of how far I can jump and stuff. So I always wonder what the difference in body ability is. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
I'd like to hop in her body and just see what I can just run around and jump and do. I just want to see what she can do. Because also she makes me carry everything. Like if we're getting the tube, we both got cases. She's like, oh, this is too heavy. Can you carry it? I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll carry this up the stairs. Now I can really test if it is a struggle for her or not. I bet you I'm carrying that shit above my
Wow,
head,
that's
walking up
so
those steps.
interesting. We've
I
gone
wanna
through
see-
very different, like you've gone through like the physical experience.
Yeah, I want to know
Whereas
what
I was more thinking I guess mine's a bit more boring. So it's like a character from history.
I just want to push her to her limits and see what she's capable of and see if she's just getting me to carry stuff because she can't be bothered. Or she truly...
I think I'm trying to think of things that would be, because I guess that's more exclusive to women kind of. But I mean, you could just be a short man. You could be a 5'2" man and experience that.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to think if there's anything where I go, other than obviously because like you couldn't, like obviously if you want to see what Jesus was like as a baby, you could be Mary. but you could also be Joseph to see what it's like. I'm trying to think if there's something where I'd be like, I would want to be this woman, and it's like something that would be a unique experience for that woman.
Okay, what about if you were Mary on the day you gave birth to Jesus?
Something like that would be, it would be quite...
You get to experience childbirth then as well.
Experiencing it would be so fascinating to have the full experience of a childbirth, periods.
I just want a fucking
to
period.
just see what it's like. Because when we did the period simulator bit, obviously Lara said it wasn't exactly the same.
Yeah. And yeah, I would like
the female orgasm, feel what sex feels like, and orgasm as a woman would be
I am not blowing your back out.
Oh my God, if you were living as Liv and Batch came through the door.
No, I'm not letting him here. I'm not letting him here.
You're not letting him here.
I'm not letting... That would be so weird actually to think about that. Me just coming through the door.
Yeah.
I'm looking at me like...
Would you not be curious and just be like, I want to feel what sex feels like, and it's with myself,
Nah.
so is that a bit like masturbation in a sense?
No, I don't think I would do that. I don't think I would do that. I'm disgusting.
So what would you do with solo stuff? You wouldn't go out and
Actually, I would love to finally try a rose toy.
Yes.
We
oh
should
my
do
God,
that.
I know.
We should do
What do you
that.
mean we should do that? We can't become women.
Maybe we pick two
But that
women
kind
to
of
be
thing-
for a day, come in and do the podcast, use a rose toy, and just do everything together.
Yeah.
Have a period on the sofa, just do everything.
Give birth.
Give birth.
See what see if the shower head is all it's cracked up to be.
Get our prom makeup done as well.
Oh yeah.
Finally.
Oh, be a bridesmaid.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, what else?
Forgot.
I'm trying to what are exclusively women
Yeah, what can they experience that we can't? Queef?
that we can't, because it's all.
We could queef.
I'm trying to think if
Squirt.
if the
Squirt off.
no.
Me versus you. Me versus you. First one to die from dehydration wins.
Oh.
You like those
Oh,
odds?
walking around in society would be a really interesting one to see how you're treated. To see, I guess it would depend on, because people say that pretty privilege is obviously huge. It would be really interesting to live a day as someone who doesn't necessarily conform to societal standards of beauty and someone who really does.
Oh, you want a comparison?
And see how.
But a pretty privilege applies to men as well, right?
Yeah, but I feel like you're subjected to it more as a woman. Like being an attractive woman, like obviously you're an attractive guy. You probably don't get...
That's so intimate. What the fuck? Obviously I'm attracted to you, but...
But like you probably don't have that many people... I mean, do people in the streets like stop you, or do you get like... You don't get like catcalled, wolf whistled, that kind of stuff?
No,
right?
no, I don't get... No. I don't get harassed like
I mean, maybe we're just not attractive enough, but I mean, it doesn't happen as much. It
We
would
need
be
to get
interesting being
we need to start
a
mewing.
5'2" woman and like seeing what it's like just the lived experience of all the things that you hear about.
Yeah.
Also, you wouldn't get a full appreciation of it living.
It wouldn't be nice.
No.
So maybe you should pick someone else.
What things do you think would be, you'd be like, oh, I would really enjoy this aspect of living like a woman?
Oh yeah, just humping pillows and stuff probably.
What the hell?
No, I don't know. I genuinely just wanted to do an experiment for my personal self by living inside Liv's body so I can see if she can lift suitcases upstairs or not. That's all I want.
I do that. You do a sort of like dating apps one, don't you? You get a video, on the Italian Bach channel. Like, I do the Widows of Tinder.
Oh yeah,
You have
yeah,
a
yeah.
similar sort of series, right? There's quite a lot of, because like Hinge has brought in this thing where like if you've got 8 matches and you're mid conversation, you can't swipe anymore because, and there was like a whole Twitter thread of women being like, oh, a part of why I really enjoy Hinge and dating apps is because it's really good for my self-esteem because I can get 100 people a day calling me beautiful.
Right.
I think that's more of an experience from women than men. Like it, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's probably the opposite for men. You probably get your ego your ego deflates a bit more on dating apps, I reckon.
If you're a woman going to a man, you mean becoming a man?
Yeah.
Because there was as well.
Yeah, because you'll go from like a guy approaching you being like, you're really attractive, love to take you out, to you then have to like hit the worst pickup line ever, and then she's like, ew.
Yeah, because there was that girl that did the TikTok being like, oh, men are just bad at dating. And so she took over his
Oh, did she?
dating app.
How did you get on?
Couldn't get him a date.
Really?
Really struggled. And she like before I think said, "Oh, you know, with the right kind of chat, you can chat up a girl.
Right.
Like,
Okay.
it's just that men are useless." And then she was like, "Oh, it's actually harder than." So that would be, I guess, a good experience. I think it would just be, yeah. I think what else?
So you just want to date men?
What other kind of?
You just want to go on Hinge and date men?
Well, that should be one aspect. I'm just trying to think of all the times when you frequently hear like, "Oh, this experience is very different for men and women," but like something you could actively experience that's not necessarily because I mean you couldn't
get a bikini. You could get a Brazilian bikini wax or something.
you could get a wax.
I don't have a vagina.
Yeah, but you could get a wax still. So, have you ever had a wax?
No.
No.
Have you?
Yeah, I had sisters growing up. They always did the hot honey on
Oh,
your
I've
arm.
done I've tried it on the arm. Yeah.
Oh yeah, not a pussy. Not the
Not my
back sack and
pussy. No,
crack.
not my pussy. The fuck.
Not
Never
the
had
back
a.
sack and
Oh, we
crack
could.
blown out with the freaking waxing, whatever it's called.
We could get BBLs.
Oh, you can get a BBL now.
Oh, we can lactate.
Oh,
That would be interesting.
but again, you can lactate if you give yourself the right hormones.
I wouldn't mind my titties being sucked.
What the? Okay, fine. Let's pause. We're gonna have a break.
Oh hell no! You're thirsty as hell, boy. I think maybe we should move on from this.
Yeah, let us know what you guys think. If you're a girl, what you'd want to experience if you're a guy, vice versa. And if you're non-binary, speak about that unique experience and what you'd like to experience if you were part of more of the male or female binary. You know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, Shanice has written a really long one and it's been shortened. Your mouth is moving a lot like a rat.
Yeah.
Yappa, yappa, yappa.
Yappa yappa yappa.
Quiet, please. No, okay. Shanice, thank you for putting in the effort to give us a long novel.
But we shortened it down. Yap 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 yap. Right, come on.
Oh, and by the way, these are both Patreon supporters. Like we always say, Patreon supporters get, as one of the, from time to time, perks, they get priority submissions. So we get a lot of submissions. We've got thousands to go through. If we see that you're a Patreon member,
Millions
you're
even.
more likely to get chosen. Anyway, let's go check out the
I would
Patreon.
like to say most of the thousands of submissions are people just saying, "Oh, rose toy. Oh, my little rose toy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Got any philosophical questions? And someone's put, what would you do if you were my rose toy for the day?
yeah."
What the hell?
Someone's got, "Oh, I just farted and shitted."
Yeah.
Cheers for that.
I've got a crush on someone in maths class. What do I do? How are we supposed to answer?
What
I don't
the
know,
fuck?
bro. No, we should go through some ones that like
Are terrible.
At some point-
Don't submit bad
that are
submissions.
terrible and just be like giving bad advice to terrible submissions.
Yeah.
Not terrible because we appreciate that some of them are.
Oh no, but when people are saying, "Oh, I farted,"
Yeah.
that is a terrible
Yeah, I queefed
submission.
and squirted on my rose toy. How do I clean it? And you're like, what the? I don't know.
It's obvious, isn't it?
Yeah.
White vinegar, baking soda.
Give it to Batch, he'll clean it up for you. No. Awful, actually. Vile, that one.
I only did that for you once.
Batch and Arthur, hello. I've been trying to make an important decision that may shape the rest of my life. Oh, every decision you ever make shapes the rest of your life. Also, do you ever make decisions? I think probably not. It was always going to happen anyway. And I feel like Arthur is an island boy. himself.
boy.
I'd like to get your opinions. So I've lived in Northern Ireland my entire life. I was recently in Belfast. Already said that one.
Can I just say I'm also an island boy because the UK is an island.
Oh, yeah. True. Who isn't an island boy around here anyway? My family and friends are here. I have a steady job, etc. But something in me tells me to move to London.
That's your demons.
It's fun. I feel like the opportunity for both professional and personal experience is so much greater there. I'm 20 now and feel that if I don't do this soon, I never will. I don't want to make a decision I'll regret, but equally I feel pressured to stay here by my family and friends. The thought of starting over in an entirely new place is terrifying. Having no friends nearby and no idea what to do. I just can't picture myself in 20 years in the same place I am now. Any advice on this would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Much love, Shanice.
Don't bother. Next question. No. It's a rough one because I can't speak for it. Because when I moved to London, I knew I had work here and friends here.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how I'd fit. I personally wouldn't move to a city unless I had friends and work secured there.
Yeah.
But because I'm not a spontaneous person.
It is different because you're not, I am quite spontaneous. And
No, the fuck you ain't.
no,
You plan your day hour by hour.
that's so true actually.
You are not spontaneous.
I know what I'm doing every minute until I'm 43. No, I think, it's tough because it does vary so much person to person. And what people prioritize. So it is difficult. I would say, like, in life, I feel like if you're 20 and you move to London for a year and you hate it, you're never really going to look back and go, God, I should never have done that. Like, I have friends that moved to London. London is a really lonely place if you don't know anyone.
Yeah.
Because it's like, how the hell do you make friends?
Yeah.
But you have to try. You have to be willing. I mean, we went to a painting class the other day. I've been to a pottery class recently.
And we made no friends.
Yeah, we made no friends.
But we tried. We tried.
No, that's not true. We actually...
That's because of the food that we had was smelly.
Oh, yeah.
No one wanted to sit with us.
Someone chose... What did you have?
Oh, fish on fish toast.
Yeah, you had fish. It was disgusting. No, I...
No, I didn't.
Smelly?
I had a sandwich.
Oh, yeah, I had a chicken sweet corn sandwich. It was Chris that had something smelly, wasn't it?
Oh, his breath. Yeah, it was just his
Yeah.
breath. Yeah.
But no, if you
Yeah.
if you come, you've got to really just be like, I've got to make an effort to go make friends because it's not that easy.
But good luck. I mean, it's hard to make friends because you don't know if someone is weird or not.
Yeah, but Bach signed up to this podcast. He had no idea.
Yeah, it's only later down the line that you realise they're a bit odd.
Don't do that as if I don't match your freak.
Can you not match my freak? Wait, what's the sound? How does the
We
sound
match
go?
each other's freak perfectly. We really do.
Okay, I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know how to give this person advice. I don't know how to do it.
I genuinely think, as well, when a lot of people make friends through work, you sort of join a big firm and then you've got a bunch of people you're bound to make friends with some of them, then they'll have friends and they'll have friends of friends. I think if you're 20 and you kind of go, I've lived in Northern Ireland all my life, something within me is yearning. You could get old and be like, oh, I kind of wish I'd experienced life in London. Whereas you're not going to be 40 and go, oh, I spent ages 0 to 20 and 22 to 40 in Northern Ireland, but I lived at age 21 in London. I really regret it.
Yeah, it's definitely a good time to do it if you're ever going to do it. And yeah, you can leave after a year if you really don't like it. But you do have to make an effort to make friends because if you've got no friends in London, you will be lonely.
But I do get it. I mean, like I said, when I was applying for unis, I got into UCL and King's.
Yeah.
And UCL and King's was so different to Durham. So I got rejected from Oxford in the end after my interview. But what was my fifth one?
Oh, because you bit someone, that's why.
I don't even remember. I bit the interview. I was hungry.
Right, so yeah, just be careful the people that you meet.
No, and I remember my dad saying, he was like, Arthur, your social skills aren't the best. You get very anxious in social situations. You're going to really struggle going from Jersey to London. You'll probably have no mates. So Durham is quite
How did he know?
like Jersey. And yeah, I ended up making some of my best buds at Durham University. And it was great. So I can see that the jump is quite difficult and quite intimidating.
It would intimidate me too much if I was in your position, to be honest.
But I mean, even you, like, you've sacrificed the outdoors and nature, which you love, and you loved having a garden and stuff. Like, it's not like everyone who comes here goes, London is perfect. I mean, we even said on a podcast recently, like, I want to live somewhere sunny. I mean, being in Dubai for those few days, just being like, wow, some of these people genuinely wake up, smash a gym, eat breakfast in the sun, go for a dip in the pool, walk to work. You know, there are plenty of places. Like, I'm constantly thinking, I wish I was living in a place that's sunny and had a lot of daylight and I had a swimming pool and I was near the sea.
Paddle court.
A lot of people that live here don't think that everyone who lives here is coming and going, oh, London's perfect for me. There are a lot of people that yearn for...
Yeah, I mean...
everything's a trade-off.
The things I love about London is it makes my work easier because my work is here. And it's social because I've got a lot of friends here who do the same thing as me, so our schedules line up well for doing activities together. That's why I like London. Not for the weather, not for the location, not for anything else, really.
There's just a lot of shit to do.
So the things that I like that keep me here, you would have to find, because currently it sounds like your friends and family are in Northern Ireland and your job's in Northern Ireland. So, yeah, this is not something I can really give advice on because I'm not the same.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done it.
I would advise you go for it. I don't think you'll look back and hate London. And even if you do, you can just be like, well, I tried it, and that itch in your brain is gone.
To be fair though, if you're saying, like, I mean, the whole thing is that you feel like you should move to London. I didn't want to move to London and I did it.
And as well, they are saying that professional and personal experience opportunities are better.
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it. If it's something you want to do, you'll enjoy it.
It may end up being good for your career.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just is a really cool place in many ways.
It is the best city in the world.
If you find the right place to live, that's quite important. Living in the right areas, research it and find the right place for you. And yeah, make the most of it when you do move. But good luck. What's your favourite place in London?
Shoreditch.
Yeah, Shoreditch is pretty fun.
Or London.
Oh.
Your turn?
I really like West London. I like the old school buildings. I like the sort of like Made in Chelsea vibe houses. You know, the sort of...
I don't really go over there.
Villas out
I've been a
front.
couple times and I like the way that architecture is, yeah.
When my dad has business in London, he always stays out in West, so we always go like around Green Park and that sort of stuff. It's really nice. And I like all the parks. I really like being by the river. I really like Canary Wharf because it's just so clean and quiet and professional. It was one of the things that was nice about Dubai, like here, like I do feel like I'm quite socially anxious. When I'm out in a public, I feel like I'm very alert.
Here.
Like someone filming me or saying hi, and I'm like, right, I've got to like nail this social interaction because, you know, someone will come say hi and I've got to make sure I'm polite to them and nice to them and all this kind of stuff. In Dubai, it was nice to kind of be like, no one's going to recognize me here. I can kind of switch off and I can kind of shop and not worry about looking bored or,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I've got a lot of clones out there doing me some injustice. Anyway. So even if I'm nice to someone, I've got someone in Manchester going, fuck off, you arsehole.
Tearing down your reputation.
Yeah. So mine's on thin ice anyway.
Yeah.
I haven't really explored London all that much, to be honest.
Wow, that's actually kind of true because you are a big worker.
Yeah.
Have you done all the been to Natural History Museum?
When I was younger, not since being here.
Wow. Have you been to the aquarium?
Not since being here, no.
Oh my goodness.
Since being here, I've probably been out for like leisure. I could count probably on one hand how many times. Just because I feel like I get a lot of the aspect of going out and seeing things when we do shoots.
That's true.
Because a lot of it will be like, oh, we're going to go and do this beer mile or we're going to go and do this. And it's like, okay, well, I've seen that part now. But I do want to go and see some parks like Richmond Park, Bushy Park.
Victoria Park.
Bushy Park. I've heard Victoria Park is mid though.
It's kind of mid, but it's quite close to us.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I think do some more exploration. I mean, visit London if you haven't already. That's a big thing as well. Maybe see if you can get a vacation scheme. Come do like a...
Fruit picking.
What the fuck?
That's what they do in Australia. You
Really?
go and pick strawberries, you stay on a farm. Come do that in Shoreditch. You'll have a good time.
Get whatever your job is, see if you can get like a 2-week thing, stay in some temporary accommodation, it's not that expensive, and see if you like living.
See if you like living, man.
Yeah.
Just live and let die.
Will you commit to it? But,
Yeah.
you know.
Shoreditch is probably a good area to like start if you're new. Actually, do you know where she should go?
Where?
Clapham.
Oh, yeah, Clapham Brixton area. That's also a good...
That's probably a good area to meet friends.
Yeah.
She should go and hit that subscribe button.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Con's better than we are at remembering to plug that.
I knew we had to remember to... I completely forgot that we need to end this podcast at some point.
I forgot this was a podcast. Yeah, maybe now's a good time.
They've both been yawning for the last half an hour. So,
Yeah, they just shouted
so
boring.
anyway, yeah. Hit subscribe. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe. Subscribe to both our YouTube channels. Join the Patreon at patreon.com/Batch and Arthur. There's a bunch of perks. The perk list might have slightly changed by the time you've seen this. So go check it out, see what's on offer. Fellas might finally be helping us get this Red Bull vlog out. It's been a year.
Oh my God, it has.
Actually, it's coming up to have been a year.
And rate us 5 stars.
Oh,
And that's all you need to do.
Oh, and say a prayer for Cal Freezy.
Why? What's happened to Cal Freezy?
Nothing, just wish him well. Bye.